right, we're going to get started with the pitching portion of this event, where a couple of indie game developers have submitted their games, and we have judges who are going to award amazing prizes. Okay, that's working. So we have a couple of different games. This is not all of them. You've been able to see a little bit of them on the edges of the room here. And the stakes are some Intel NUC Skull Canyons, which are little micro PCs, and some drives, so pretty cool prizes. We have here the order of pitches that are going to go. I'm not going to read all these out loud, but we'll probably flash these back up again to show who all pitched their games. Mickey is the only one without a last name. And then these are our judges. So you've seen some of these people before. We have Giselle with IGDA Australia, Jen with Cartoon Network, Laura from PIGSquad, Michelle from Intel, Daniel from Microsoft, and Mike from Intel. And the kind of format will go as follows. People are going to have 5 minutes to chat about their game, and then that may or may not involve slides or kind of a live play session. And then awards will be in the following categories. So looks like number 4 is going to rely on all y'all. So we have got an audience pick. So without further ado, I think I am welcoming Hagen to the stage to pitch Plunge.
Okay, now I just have to find my slideshow. Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Hagen, the art director on Plunge, though I'm the only artist, so I guess I'm just self-directed. I'm going to call myself Phone Face, though, for this presentation, because I'm just going to read it off my phone, so that's cool. Plunge is an approachable, turn-based dungeon plunger. I think we coined that term. Set in a wacky medieval prison. The only way to escape your prison sentence is to keep plunging down. The mechanics are driven by simple swipe-to-move controls, ideal for touch interface. Using these natural gestures, the objective of each floor is to obtain a key and plunge to the next floor. We strive to balance puzzle and combat with our gameplay, prodding the player to strategize before their headlong charge into traps and squads of prison guards. When we first started designing Plunge, all we knew is it would have puzzle-like gameplay. We had no idea what that meant. 6 months later, we have over 100 cell block levels and semi-random guard squads, and 6 variant enemy types. For the player, learning different guard movement patterns and behaviors is vital to using them strategically against each other. Though our level designs are handmade and grass-fed, the game pulls from a huge pool of content, making each encounter feel a little less linear. Even guards are spawned in semi-random squads, changing the difficulty of any given floor, guaranteeing that the player won't have the same challenges each playthrough. This gift shows that maneuvering enemies into friendly fire is sometimes the best strategy. We knew due to scope, we wanted to keep a very light leveling up system. Our solution was perks. These abilities are presented to the player by the perk vendor, a fellow inmate who has collected too much loot to escape this super prison themselves. Perks are randomly drawn from a pool and vary in power from +1 health to circumstantial perks that stave off insanity. We wanted the system to simultaneously be approachable yet robust. We also have implemented character selection and unlocking, further exploring the cartoony world without explicit story building systems. We currently haven't explored the unlocking requirements, but having the framework in place allows for flexibility in our initial scope and allows for additions in later content after our game's release. So with a ton of level variety and rough and tough guard squads, plus randomly dispersed pickups, meat for health, and randomized surprise potions, progression through Plunge's zany cartoon prison cell blocks will keep players engaged and challenges. Thanks for a whole bunch, Intel, for having us. And come play Plunge over in the corner if you feel like falling down. Thank you.
And I don't know if I see, is Daniel here with Holding Hands? 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's not here. What about Rainey Baker with Death Sword? Yay! Please, a hand.
Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so let's... Does sound come out of this? Is it like, do I have like... Okay, let's see here. Okay. With. First of all, a couple things about me. I'm a freelance writer and noise musician here in Portland, Oregon. My name is Rainey Baker. A couple years ago, I had another game called Never Go to Work, which actually was featured on Boing Boing's Oddworld feature, and also was commissioned by the Interactive Fiction Fund. So this is my second big project of sorts. And this thing is called, come on, you jerk. Jerk. There. So it's meant to this game is meant to replicate games like you would be able to find on the Apple II or Commodore 64. Games like the Mac Venture stuff, Penguin Software, Tellurium Games, Shadowgate, that sort of thing. It's got right now it's got 3 characters you can choose from. They got different skills and will have their different tasks and stuff. Sometimes you won't be led into a certain place if you're one of the classes. They have different, one will get beat up more than the other, things like that. And it's basically just like a point-and-click RPG text adventure. And that's not actually a screen that's in the game. That is kind of weird. But you notice that on the side you've got some of these direction things that move you around. You normally have your character there, but okay, that's a bit spooky. You just kind of move around like that, and it's, you can map your way around, and you have your inventory at the bottom, different items that do nothing sometimes, and another thing, which if folks have ever worked with Twine before, a lot of people seem impressed by this, but I actually have turn-based combat in this, which is kind of unusual for this sort of format, and you can. So it's a very straightforward, like very straightforward, like retro style game, and then you'll see.
My name is Raphael Bertram and I made this game, not Rainy.
Okay, so we got some lore to this. This game is actually one that I found that was made by a 13-year-old boy in Briggs, Texas, named Raphael Bertram, and I don't know what happened to him. I'm kind of curious. And so part of this distributing this game is to help find out what happened to him. And let's see, do you have anything else to say? You big jerk.
Rainy, you need to tell these people what happened to me or he will die.
Well, I'm certainly going to die of embarrassment if you don't let me finish this pitch. So let's. do you have anything else to contribute here? Or are you going to let me actually do this?
Rainy, you need to tell these people everything. This is very important.
Okay. Well, if you just let me finish this pitch, maybe we can, get more people interested in the game. We can get more people interested in, what happened, and then we can, like, put you to rest. So let's see if we can get any further in this. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting up with this. I'll be over there.
Alrighty. I'd like to welcome up to the stage Sam with Crescent Loom.
Hi, my name's Sam. I'm presenting on behalf of Wick Perry, the creator of Crescent Loom, who wasn't able to be here today. Let me pull up the online version. So Crescent Loom is a game about creating life, which is fortunate because in Wick's last game I may have scourged a few planets of life, so we're here to remedy that a little bit. It is a neuroscience game. Wick was a neuroscience major, and he is developing Crescent Loom as a way to both bring those concepts a more general understanding to the public and as a way to turn them into a fun game. What I'm doing now is creating a very simple creature, just as a demonstration of the way that this game works. So you can see that I've added on a couple pieces of spine and a couple muscles here. Now, if I just let this creature loose with a spine and a couple of muscles and no brain, it's not really going anywhere. So what we want to do here is choose from a variety of neurons that are available. What I want to do here is just choose a couple simple pacemaker neurons that fire periodically. Wire them up using these muscles. But you don't want these muscles to fire simultaneously, as they might do with just the two. So you want to start interconnecting them. In this case, what we're going to do is a reciprocal inhibition connection, which Wick actually has a tattoo of. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You can add on a lot more to these creatures, including jaws, so that they can feed on ambient pieces of food and on each other. Let's see if I can put some jaws on here. Yeah. So if this runs into any other creatures, it can essentially bite them in half and get calories out of that. And it can then reproduce itself. One of the things that's coming up in a later phase of this game in development is a simple form of natural selection, where the creatures that are best at getting food and eating each other will end up being more prevalent in the environment. So there's a lot more to Crescent Loom, including you can actually follow some of the neural traces if you look at the bottom corner there. It's intended as a mix of an educational game and a sort of way for people to show off the creatures to each other. But later in the development stage, Book is planning to make some more features like racing and other design challenges that require you to develop new types of creatures in order to better meet the challenges of the environment that these little guys find themselves in. So I can show off a lot more later at the Crescent Loom station right over there. So I hope you all come by and check it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A good way to relax after haunted games. I would like to welcome, another relaxing one, Thomas Newlands with Soft Friends.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Thanks. Hi, I'm Thomas Newlands. I am a student now, I guess. I've been out of school for about a year. I'm going back to start up at the University of Oregon in the fall in their art and technology program. This is my textural adventure game. If you'll just give me a second to pull it up. Okay, cool. This is my game, Soft Friends. So in Soft Friends, you control two deformations in the surface of a disk. And your goal is to put these sorry. Play it with headphones. It's much better. So you move through this repeated action, basically, of putting these two deformations together to progress in the game. In that sense, it's kind of a textural adventure game. You play by feeling through it. So I'm going to pause here. I don't have a lot of time for this pitch, so snap back to my slideshow. So one of the things I started with, like the kind of root of this, is I was kind of interested in figuring out how to make soft computer graphics. I noticed a lot of games have hard edges or these shadows that are very dark, like kind of bold. And I wanted to break that up somehow and add a kind of organic life to these things. So this is an early experiment of mine where I'm just starting to think in terms of vertex shaders. So how can you get space to sort of breathe or give life to these triangles? So this was like an early project that kind of led into research I was doing, and I sort of took that and pushed it further with tons of GPU tessellation, which is how I get these soft edges around these things. They're height maps, which just add more triangles to the solution to get those smoother kind of edges. But I was interested in feeling as a mechanic, basically. So In the game, you have this one-to-one connection with the surface where you're moving around these deformations, and you have a direct, like each joystick moves a cursor basically on the field. And that's kind of one aspect of it. Another of it was I wanted people to really like add some kind of material weight to these images. So while you're looking at a screen, you're trying to like feel across the surface of the space. So this all started with a first-person kind of prototype where I thought maybe it would be a hide-and-go-seek game where you'd play with another person and you'd be moving through these fields and you try and discern basically where the other person's deformation might be. But as I kept working on it, what I found is that, sorry. Oh, I did, that's the one on the desktop, thank you. The height maps were a really kind of compelling part of it, so that they're like having this more physical kind of visual element is really important for me. So I started iterating on these abstract kind of noises that I was bringing into the space. And from there I was like, okay, well, yeah, maybe we can bring these feeling mechanics into a kind of meditative ambient game that just kind of slows people down rather than really like kind of intellectually stimulating you, kind of encouraging you to get into this feeling space for the work. And I was really excited by this game, Mu Cartographer by Tituan Millet, where you kind of move these toggles and this interface, and you're really just trying to figure out, decipher this image at the center, which is visually similar, but not actually a direct visual inspiration for me. So I decided to make the surfaces basically more detailed. So you'd be looking at surfaces that were a lot noisier, and trying to connect based on these things. And these look very, very sharp. Doesn't totally align with like the soft kind of imagery, which is where I start to pull in another artist I'm kind of excited about, Ian McClarty. With his Southbank Portrait first-person exploration game. It's great. I start to pull in more images, starting to think about like how can you make bring like physical places into your kind of game worlds and to decipher those instead. I don't know how much time I have, but I'll just end my pitch really quick there then. Thank you. Check out my spot over there.
Thank you for the assessment. You had none time left. We have next Long Neck Games presenting Res Please, and I think both Nathan and Josh are coming up. Cool. Give them a round of applause.
I'm going to try not to giantify this too much, but there's a reason they call us Long Neck Games, and that's because we're both half giraffe, so. Oh, that'll work. Great. All right. Nate's going to pilot. I'll do the talking. If you guys saw me walking to the back, it's because I thought I had time to hit the bathroom. I didn't realize we were the next one up, so that's my bad. I'm Josh, and this is Nate, and we're two brothers. We're making a game called Long Neck Game. All right, so called Res Please, which is a game about brothers. And basically the core concept of our game is you play as two wizard brothers that aren't particularly good at magic. Every other wizard in the world is dead, and you have to save the world. But the only magic you have is the ability to resurrect each other. So the core mechanic of the game is actually, it's a puzzle platformer, but death is a big part of the mechanic. So it requires teamwork and coordination between the two brothers. Sometimes you can just harass each other too, to get from one point to another. So basically, we were inspired by Mega Man, Super Mario, you know, classic video games when we grew up. But when we played, you had to switch off from one brother to the other. When one of you died, then my brother would take over and he'd play the game. In our game, when one of you dies, it's an opportunity for the other brother to get something done. So as you progress in the game, you basically overcome obstacles, with that death mechanic kind of being part of the game. You'll notice at the top there's gems there. Those are actually your Lazarus stones. So you still have a life, you know, a health bar, but it's in the form of how many times you can resurrect each other. So you have to be kind of conservative in how you actually kill each other. Sometimes you're just going to die because you made a mistake, and sometimes it's actually going to be to a higher purpose. Sometimes there's really mean monsters that you're going to try to get away from. Kill them. So a big part of it's just in the problem solving. You know, just trying to figure out when to die. That's not a good time. That's not great at all. Then you're gonna have to start over and try again. This can be played as local co-op or as one player where you actually switch controls between the two players, kind of Lost Vikings style. We really wanted to kind of capture the essence of trying to think strategically around making two players accomplish a goal instead of just controlling one guy, which is a big part of what makes the game special. And then also, there's some really violent ways you can go out. This little guy's called a puffer. Oh, he didn't actually kill him that time, that's right. Oh, that's right. We recorded this morning, by the way. We weren't sure we'd be able to play it on spot. So you die in a lot of really interesting ways. Some are super helpful, some are just fun. But for example there, you sink into lava slowly, so you have to use the other brother's head just to get to the other side. So yeah, so that's the core concept of Res Please. We've been developing it for a few years now. We're really, really proud of it, but we're just basically getting to the point where we're just building out content. As the game progresses, you unlock more magic abilities, but you're not particularly good at those either. So every magic ability you get isn't as good as it sounds. So for example, you get the ability to turn into a stone golem, but in all actuality, you just turn into a giant boulder with a face on it and fall straight down. But you use that to your advantage. So that's a big part of the game, is kind of, what can I do with these gifts that are also almost curses? So, and here's a little trailer of the rest of some of the other elements of the game. That boulder. So that's our game. It'll be right over there on the end. Please come play. Thank you.
Might I compliment you on your Lost Vikings shout out? Uh-oh, the height's getting to me. There we go. All right, next up we have Lane with Chaotic Void. Please give him a round of applause.
Okay. Check, check. Okay. Cool. Okay, this mic is working. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can find my stuff here. What's the quick key for PowerPoint? F5, all right. Oh. All right, awesome. At least I got some pages. Okay, so I am with Resurgam Studios. Me and my brother started a company, like, it's been a few years now, but this is the team that we have. We have a pretty skilled team. We have, like, people from Microsoft, Sony, backgrounds anyway. And Apple that we work with right now. But let me get straight to the point. Chaotic Void is basically a local, okay, cool, it's up there. it's a local player game where you have 4 players and you basically just pretty much kill each other to the point where it's very, very physicsy. Everything, like, including bullets, people grabbing each other, like people like grabbing guns, like everything is physics driven. So when you like fire an actual bullet, like bullets actually go where they're supposed to go, and like the physics all acts accordingly. What's interesting is you can have these characters actually, like, basically how it works is like you have an Xbox controller where you can, like, each hand is actually controlled what you can actually grab and then also what you can use, but all physics driven. So people can go up and grab guns, they can grab people, and they're basically like trying to reach like a certain goal to where they're basically trying to score like a point with like kind of like a ball that they're like trying to drag back to their base. And you can make friends too with robots, because that's always cool. It's like one of the things that kind of defines how this game works is everything is physics driven to the point that the gameplay feels like you'll get all these crazy situations where some people might actually grab a gun and like accidentally shoot themselves because they actually didn't pick up the gun right. So it's like there's a lot of different crazy scenarios that can happen. Like people can get sucked out of doors. Like you can like latch onto things while gravity is sucking you out of a door. And that's kind of essentially it. And basically for the last probably about 2 years now, I've been mostly getting the framework in place for just physics-driven gameplay. And the best way to kind of been testing that is a local player game. And then once the local player game actually settles, like single player would be awesome. So we're hoping to kind of go down that route. But yeah, here's some screenshots. Lots of explosions. I'm hoping they're actually showing behind me. Okay, trailer. Yeah, so I have a pre-alpha trailer. And that's pretty much what I spent all my night on. PowerPoint, I failed in college with, so. Let's see here. Now let's see if the sound actually works or if it just completely is way too loud. Anyway, so that's the pre-alpha trailer that I got going on. We're kind of trying to push for like kind of an early access Steam thing going on as kind of the next step once we get a few more levels in place. But yeah, feel free to try it out when you guys have the time. Thank you. I'm trying to figure out how to exit out of this thing.
I don't know. Just hit escape a lot. There we go. Okay, I think I did it. Next up we have our friend Alan with a tool he likes to call Collaborate. If you could please give him a hand, welcome him to the stage.
So, looks like we got some activity on this system already. Hi, my name's Alan, and I'm here to talk to you about a piece of software that I put together. It's called Collaborate. It is it is part game and part platform for games, and the intention is to provide sort of an ad hoc environment for both creation, exploration, play, and communication. So as you can see here, I've got a handful of my friends across the country who are helping me out with this presentation, each of whom are on either an iPad or a desktop with a Wacom Cintiq or an iPhone, and they can interact with us by drawing on the screen, just as I'm doing here on my own iPad. And so this idea started mostly because I have a 2-year-old daughter, and when I travel, I hate that I can't interact with her more directly. We do FaceTime, and it seems like, I'm just going to try to ignore what's going on behind me. We do FaceTime, and it's great, but she's a little too young to, express herself with words, but she loves to draw. And so I imagined a world in which I could sit in my hotel room in Washington, D.C. while I was on business, and she could sit in bed with my wife back home here in Portland, and the two of us could interact together. I'm so curious what you're all laughing at right now. Which, as you can see, for me would look something like grabbing the red pen and drawing a giant heart and saying, "I love you, baby." And hopefully she's not ignoring me and will respond with something equally sweet. But who knows who's going to get back to us today. Looks like we got some nice teeth going on and some green squiggly lines. Oh, now we got some more action. Yeah, look at that. Somebody loves me. Oh, and it went away. This is a networked game, and something that you'll hear a lot of indie developers talk about is how they're indies and therefore they can't do networked anything. And I'm frustrated by that statement. I think that a networked game is not impossible. It's not something that's relegated only to AAA studios. And so I sought to create a networked interaction first and then build gameplay second. And so what you're seeing here is sort of the first of many stages that I hope this project is going to take. That starts with everyone sharing an experience. And man, there's a lot going on back there. And hopefully ends in something pretty spectacular. Now, I will say that beyond just games, I do intend this to be a means of both collaboration and communication. And so I'm thinking a lot about how I can take this infrastructure, which is all web-based today. It'll run on any machine that has a browser, and turn it into a system where people can share ideas. And in addition to just doing the types of things that you might do on a whiteboard, such as draw a big smiley face, I'd like to see a system where we can actually interact with the components. And so I'd like to see something where I can draw a square and a circle and draw a relationship between these two things and then drag one object around and see the other object respond in kind. And so I've been playing with a lot of different... Stussy! Yeah, I haven't seen that since middle school. Thanks, Will. And so I have veered terribly off of my notes. Ultimately, I just think that this is a space for fun, and I hope that you all have as much fun interacting with it as apparently my friends are having right this second. Thank you.
There we go. We didn't know to clap, so thanks for building us a tool to help the audience understand what to do. All right. Okay, we got two more. I just want to give a selfless plug. If you are logged into your Twitch account on your phone, then check out the chat for twitch.tv/newbeings, NEWBEINGS. I'll prompt you again in a second, but the last game that we're showing off tonight uses that Twitch chat to be able to command the game and stuff like that. But in the meantime, we're going to get drawn on, and I'd like to welcome to the stage Justin Pando with Schmucks Ball.
Nice. There is Schmucks Ball presentation as put together by my colleague Rex Waters in absentia. He is ill and was unable to make it tonight, but he did this while I worked on the game last night, so I could show it to you. Here's our logo. Here's the pitch. Schmucks Ball is the brutal, ultra-popular galactic arena sport played by the abnormal heroes of the dual galaxies in the pursuit of perfection, glory, and favorable economic trade deals. And it's a fighting game enthusiast mashup of Pong and Breakout, where the heroes use whatever tricks at their disposal to slaughter the opponent's brick boys and score a goal, also in the pursuit of the above. This is Schmucks Ball. We're got some visual inspiration. I think he borrowed from some of our design documents, so we could give you a pretty big, like a thorough but also broad view of what we're doing. Looks like this. Here's one of our characters and some rules about our character design. So we're quite disciplined and organized, as you can see. We have listings of things like character motifs. So yeah, we want to have a lot of wacky characters in this game, and we want to make you have a lot of fun. These are the characters. Right now we have 4 playable characters. We have Jean, who is a pair of jeans. We have BB Gun, who is a punk kid. I think she's like 13 or something like that. And she has to like star in commercials and sell super-powered gum, and it'll make sense when the story is revealed. Luma is a giant Schmucks tortoise. She eats Schmucks fern, and yeah, there's like a whole story. It's like a conspiracy where the government comes down to like steal everybody's schmexiness and sell it back to them in the form of products. So each of the characters is basically selling something. Jean is our sex appeal character. Luma is like the nature counterpoint to all this, because she's the enlightened tortoise. She's the Illuminortis. Kip and Becky are selling like heroism, like in an action show, but they're kind of deluded, like they think they're real heroes. Yeah, here's some of our move listings. So every character, it's pretty simple. It's got like 4 moves per character. I'm pretty much channeling Smash Brothers. With the accessibility, but I also want there to be a lot of weird depth to it, where like Dark Souls was also another inspiration for this game, and like Hyper Light Drifter, because every action you do has weight, and you have like a delay time, and when you get hit by stuff, you actually get knocked back and get like stunned for a second, so you have to be kind of thoughtful, but you guys can see when you play the game. BB Gun, she like pops the gum and like she blows it up, and then you can punch the bubbles at things, and like they're like bullet projectiles. And I've got a whole bunch of different flavors of gum that I'm considering for different moves, and we'll see which ones get in. Luma is my favorite character because she's awesome. You get the turtle bite, and you can like pull yourself to walls and stuff as well. So she's the slowest character. But she has really weird movement options. So, yeah, we'll see. You'll see when you play. Kip and Becky are like a team. You control Kip, the dude, but Becky follows you around. Do you guys know those like memes like go find Becky, like that bird thing, like no Ron, go find Becky? Well, well, the name has been on my mind, and I think Becky is a great name for a bird. Anyway, Becky's a really useful partner for you. If you press the button, she'll go dash with the ball and stuff. Linkwire is like a character. The idea is like you can shoot stuff and like get pulled to it and create wire traps and things. So that'll be fun. Uno is going to be the psychic boss of the game, who has like won every competition for the last like decade or something through cheating or like rigging the competition. That's my political commentary. Yeah, and each of the heroes here represents this particular place in the universe. The one that's most interesting to me is probably the monster playset city, because I've had this other business idea. All right, Will's giving me the signal. I'll skip ahead. All right, location descriptions. Here's some cool pictures. This is the training court. That's the level that's playable right now. Schmucks Marsh is Luma's home planet. That's the next level we're implementing. Broadcasting station. This is the explorable environment that serves as the walkable menu. There are no menus in the game. You have to walk around and hit stuff. If you want to turn up the volume, you'll have to like go hit the volume up button and go find it. UI, we're going to do cartoony stuff, and this is what Rex is working on, particles and stuff. So we're learning how to do that. Who will be the next hero? There can be only one. Spectradia. I still need like a tune, like a jingle for Spectradia, so if anybody wants to hit me up.
All right, so our last game that's being presented is Fighty Friends Online by Mickey and myself. So this is a game we're talking about signing into the Twitch chat. So if you go on your Twitch app, or if you can log in on your browser and go to New Beings profile, it's NEWBEINGS, you can enter in commands for what our character should do next.
You can turn that down a little bit. Thanks.
I want to get a selfie vid with Peanut Boy, our main character.
You can turn this up a little bit.
So this is Peanut Boy, and he's exploring. It's kind of like Tamagotchi, but it's controlled by votes from everybody in the Twitch chat. So you have X number of seconds, that's my voice, to command Peanut Boy to do things. So we commanded him to study, and now people are going to be voting on what subject matter he studies. And studying specifically unlocks kind of like secret effects. So after we study something, we should fight something. So now you learn that you can enter the command SMART to feel smart. So you feel all sparkly when you're smart.
Cool, so this is like the core loop of the game. You just decide whether you're going to fight, study, or shop. And money in this game is basically your only resource. You use it to get more powerful. And so you have to choose where to fight. And right now we have 4 areas you can go to. One you unlock after you beat the other characters, or the other areas. So this is a pitch. So yes, if I win an Intel Nook, I will do what I can to put this game on Twitch perpetually, so it will just be played forever. We made this game for the PIGSquad 3rd Summer Slow Jam. The music is by Brendan McCracken. Would you like to stand up, Brendan? At Icy Notes. The 2D art is by Will. The 3D art is by Jake Jeffries. Would you like to stand up, Jake? And also by Daniel Chamberlain, who's not here today.
Okay, so we fought something and we got his money. So everybody should vote for shop real quick, so you can buy something. So pretty much, yeah, these are the 3 actions you can take. Study is like the miscellaneous thing where you just... That is also my voice. Okay, so we got 40 bucks. So let's do some shopping, y'all. Don't buy the healing items because those aren't in. I would recommend... Actually, all the bottom 3 are pretty funny. I think everybody's simultaneously voting on that one too. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we're getting a fanny pack. Time to look amazing. Oh no, a wig! Whoa, there are a lot of voters in here. Now we got a wig. Oh, and everybody's kissing him. That's one of the secret commands. You're supposed to see that kiss is just there and just assume that you can kiss him. I just said, give me some of that kiss and love.
Yeah, so this is how it goes. It'll be going over there. if you want to. It'll be going over there if you want to try it throughout the rest of the night. And it also auto-plays. So if you don't play it, you can just watch it, and it'll play itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, we got 1 more minute. Who has questions about Peanut Boy? We got 1 minute for questions. I don't know. He's not a peanut. I just drew him and people started calling him Peanut Boy. That's a true story. Next question. He doesn't have arms. You gotta buy the arms. Like, why would you need arms right now? Once you shop, you get a punching glove and you can punch enemies and then you get an arm with it. It's a 2-in-1 deal. Next question. Peanut Boy wants I almost said world sadness, and I think that's what he wants. The last boss is a sensual hot tubbing demon that you fight later in the game, and it's God. Not really, I'm just distracted. This is canon. Okay, we're gonna fight this and then we're gonna get off stage. Look at those little kicks. All right, we got some money. Okay, thank you everybody, that's our pitch. Yes, I will do the voice work for all your games. Okay, I'm gonna get off stage.